people doubt that our government could have had a hand in bringing about 9/11, I ask them to look at history. But then again, many people still think, as I did when I was a child, that the Crusades were successful and we could have won Vietnam if we stayed and fought harder. And we should have assassinated Saddam because who would have thought that it might have been a quagmire. And oh yeah, the communists are evil. Then in 6th grade, I visited Russia. A turning point in my life when I started to see that not everything was just black and white. In fact, there were shades, and not just shades, but colors also. Colors of reality that couldn't be quantitated in good or evil, because good and evil is often the perspective of an individual. And such is the case with the Crusades. The Christians, during the time of the Crusades, created more problems by trying to aggressively go out and attack the infidels before, supposedly the infidels took over the world. The first crusade killed many Jews, and then the Knights went and slaughtered Eastern Orthodox Christians, and eventually became cannibals before then taking Jerusalem and killing more Jews once they got to Jerusalem. The Second Crusade, they attacked Muslim allies, their only allies, in Damascus, and they created the warlords Zengi, Muradin, and Saladin. Even Saladin, by all accounts, was more chivalrous than all of the Crusade Knights put together, including our famous Richard the Lionheart, who was defeated by Saladin and never even made it to Jerusalem. And that was the Third Crusade. The Fourth Crusade, the Venetians tricked the other Crusaders into simply plundering the Christian city of Byzantium, Constantinople, and that's why it's called Istanbul now. We, the Christian Western world, sacked the Eastern Orthodox Christians and left it for the infidels, or Children's Crusade, who died or were enslaved. And the Fifth Crusade annoyed Egypt so badly that we finally created the modern-day terrorist. Isn't that wonderful? And, oh yeah, so then in 8th grade I had my first fist fight, and I started to see that, again, fighting isn't always the answer. And in fact, it's the negotiations after a conflict that often really lead to peace. And it's not the actual fighting that's the best outcome. It's not a state of constant fighting that we're looking for. Therefore, it seems like to go around picking fights is the opposite of what you want to try to do. Not live in turmoil all the time, and not try to purposely be unhappy by instigating fights or just fighting for the sake of fighting, just fighting because you just want to promote hatred and violence. But maybe fight so that you're not going to give in, but maybe you can come to some common grounds and actually be respected, not take advantage of our military power, like we did with the Native Americans. Again, cowboys and Indians. Now that we actually can see from the Native Americans' perspective in a lot of these films, I'm outraged that our culture, committed genocide basically on the entire American continent, and yet how much of our culture is dedicated to the memory of Native Americans? Not a whole lot from what I've seen. I don't see that, we've really learned a whole lot as a culture when we still want to instigate the medieval Crusades that was stupid to begin with and ended stupidly. It's just fucking ridiculous. Well, I guess that's my commentary until I can come up with a better title and a better ending, besides stupid motherfuckers that want to start wars with no end.